Hello learners, welcome back. In this video we are going to learn how to convert a given vector from one coordinate system into another coordinate system. This process is known as vector transformation. This method is mathematical and you will expect numerical in this topic. We know that the vectors have an important property known as direction, and the direction is shown by unit vector. So in every coordinate system that we know, that is Cartesian, cylindrical and spherical, we have three unit vectors in each. Each unit vector shows direction that specify where a unit vector is pointing. So a rectangular coordinate system has ax, ay and az as its unit vectors. Then cylindrical coordinate system has a rho, a phi and az respectively, where a rho is the radius of the cylinder, az is a unit vector which is parallel to the z axis, and a phi is the unit vector which is tangential to this curvature. Also we have spherical coordinate system where we have three unit vectors named as ar, a theta and a phi. Ar is the radius which emerges out of the origin, which is the radius of the sphere, and a theta and a phi are the polar and azimuthal angle respectively, which are also tangents to latitudes and longitudes. So all these three directions, they specify that, for example, we have a unit vector A, B and C each in one of the coordinate systems, and if we want to specify the length and the direction of the coordinate system, we need these coefficients denoted by italicized capital letters in all three of them, and also we need one unit vector associated with each coefficient. These unit vectors will tell you where a vector is pointing in a specific coordinate system. Now in this video our task is to convert from one coordinate system to another coordinate system. Means a vector, let's say A, which is given in one coordinate system, what will happen if we pick up this vector and put it in another coordinate system? So everything would be changed. Why? Because the way to specify the direction and the length in one coordinate system is totally different from the way it is described in another coordinate system, because we know that in rectangular coordinate system everything is linear. In cylindrical coordinate system only two dimensions are linear and one is angular, and here in spherical coordinate system there are two angular dimensions and only one linear dimension. So depending upon the problem we will have to convert one vector into another vector, and we have to transform their coordinate systems, and there should be a very specific and empirical way to convert this. So we are going to see this in this video. Before moving ahead, I want to remind you that this topic, this method of vector transformation, it is very closely related to what you have seen in my previous video. That topic was known as scalar projection. Scalar projection and vector projection was the topic, but here you need to only remember scalar projection. So whenever you want to see one vector, the contribution of that vector into some other direction, you have to find its projection. If you remember, I will recommend you to watch that video where I have explained what is scalar and vector projection. I will give the link in the description above, and if you remember that, you will definitely very easily understand this topic. So let us consider a scenario where we have to convert a vector which is given in Cartesian coordinate system. You have to convert it into cylindrical coordinate system. So this vector A, as you can see, it is given in rectangular coordinate system, that is Cartesian coordinate system, and we want to convert it into B, which should be finally in cylindrical coordinate system. So the only and very simplest way to do it is we have to find the coefficients b rho, b phi and bz, which are the coefficients of the final result, and the way to do it is one by one we multiply this complete vector A, dot multiply this complete vector A with the directions we want, because we want B row. B row is the coefficient which is in the direction of A row. So what we are doing here, we are finding the scalar projection of A in A row direction. We are doing nothing but doing this. Yes, and in the second also we are finding the scalar projection of A in phi direction. And to find out the scalar projection, what we do this dot multiplication, and we are doing it here. So B row, B phi and Bz, after multiplying this complete vector one by one with A row, A phi and Az, you will get these three coefficients. And obviously because you are only multiplying two vectors once and with the help of dot multiplication, the answer you will get will be a scalar. So we'll have to do nothing but put these scalars along with the resulting directions. The directions we want is cylindrical directions. So cylindrical directions are A row, A phi and Az. So what actually we are doing here? Why we need to multiply, dot multiply these vectors with the resulting unit vectors? So again, the answer is hidden in scalar projection. So we can say that what we are doing is we are trying to tell the contribution of this vector A. We know its contribution in x, y and z direction. Now what we are trying to find out, this same vector A, if we copy it here and we let's say rename it as B, we want to find out its contribution in A row, A phi and Az direction. So that is how we need to find out the relationship between the directions of Ax and these all unit vectors, Ay and all the unit vectors given in cylindrical coordinate system, and Az again. So that is why we are trying to find out the scalar projection of A in the direction of A row, A phi and Az. So this multiplication, we know that Ax and A row, they are not perpendicular to each other. Ay and A row, this Ay and A row, they are also not perpendicular to each other. So any two vectors, when they are not perpendicular to each other and we know that they have some smaller angle between them, unit vector, that acute angle between them, there should be some trigonometry that comes when you dot multiply them, and that trigonometry will be in the form of either cos or sine. So fortunately we need not to derive this multiplication, the answer to this multiplication. All the books that have some basic electromagnetic theory or the books that explains you coordinate system, they will give you this table, and even if you don't find them in books, you will get it here. This table is taken from the book Haight. There are many books like Haight and David Cheng, they will tell you this table. This table is the best to remember what will be the answer if you dot multiply two unit vectors from different coordinate systems. So this table tells you what happens if you dot multiply Ax with A row, Ay with A row, Az with A row. See, this first column is telling you that if you multiply Ax with A row, it's telling that you will get the answer cos phi. Ay with A row, you will get the answer sin phi. Az with A row, you are getting answer 0y. See, cos theta, sin theta, they are coming from a derivation. Actually, if you focus, we have seen this trigonometry, a little bit of how it comes in coordinate conversion. This geometry we know from coordinate conversion. But again, I am telling you that you just have to remember and memorize them. They are not that difficult. If you memorize them, you can directly solve the questions which come in vector transformation. So we know that A row is the radial vector, and this radius comes perpendicularly out of the z direction. So we know that Az and A row are definitely perpendicular to each other. So in cylindrical and rectangular coordinate system also, there are few vectors which are still perpendicular to each other. We know that in a single coordinate system, all the unit vectors are always perpendicular to each other, but between two coordinate systems, whether they are perpendicular to each other, you have to know their directions, then only you can tell. So similarly, the multiplication of AX, AY and AZ with arrow, this column is giving you, and the multiplication of AX, AY and AZ with AZ, this last column is telling you. So because we know that the dot multiplication is commutative, you do need not to remember another table if you multiply them vice versa. Means if you multiply arrow with AX, keeping arrow first and AX second, you need not to remember a different formula. So this is just for reference. So I was trying to tell you that you can see that AZ here and AZ here, they are similar, they are parallel to each other. That is why whenever you multiply AZ with AZ, you will get a 1, because if you multiply two similar vectors, two parallel vectors, and if you dot multiply them, you will always get a 1, unity. And there are other vectors like AX and let's say arrow, A5 and AY. They are not having any parallel or perpendicular relation between them, so you have to find or you have to memorize their trigonometry. So this cos theta, sin theta, minus sin theta and cos theta, this you have to remember using some trick. Similarly, if you want to convert a vector which is given in Cartesian coordinate system into spherical coordinate system, you have to again dot multiply this complete vector A with AR direction, A phi direction and A theta direction. These directions are present in spherical coordinate system. So let's say if we multiply, we get some coefficients CR, C theta and C phi. These coefficients are finally attached to their respective directions in the resulting answer. And this answer is nothing but the converted vector in spherical coordinate system. So the table that you need to memorize here, they are having two terms. So if you multiply AX, AY, AZ with AR, A theta, A phi, their dot multiplication will give you these terms, these trigonometrical terms. So you have to put these terms whenever you are multiplying any of these two vectors using dot multiplication. So that is all. I know that learning this topic theoretically is a little bit of waste, but still with the help of this video I want to present these two tables, this table number 1 and this table number 2 with you, and take the screenshot of this table and try to memorize it, try to keep it, stick it somewhere near your study table, and eventually you will learn these terms in this table, and you will have to learn them to solve any numerical. And I'll promise that in the next video we will solve some numerical, we will try to use these tables, and you will understand the concept of vector transformation in a better way. Thank you, keep learning, be safe.